Okay, so I'm going to be working on this canvas today. It is a 12 by 24, so I won't be able to show you the whole thing all at once, but I'll take some pictures, some still lifes after, and then you'll get more of a chance to see the whole thing. I've got lots of texture on here. You can see the raised areas with the texture. And I've already added some dark mauves and some teal and phthalo blue, and then I decided that I wanted warmer areas. So now I'm going to start with adding some yellow ochre to areas, which I already did, but I want a little more of that. So that's what I'll start now. And the way I do that is I take a shop towel, and here's my palette. I've laid out some white, some teal, some phthalo blue, and some yellow ochre. My palette, I use, if you go to the dollar store, you can get these cutting mats. And I use those for my palettes. When they wear out, I just go buy more. They work really well. Okay, so I've already added some yellow ochre down in this area, so that's what I'm going to do now. So I'll just take my shop towel, dip it into some of the yellow ochre like that, and I'll start rubbing. I always have a spray bottle like this of water, and just a couple drops so that paint will sink into all the cracks and crevices that I made with the texture. This one was started a while ago, and I added the texture with the powdered marble and white paint. And I got my raised areas here, and there's about 3 big raised areas, and then the rest is, it still has some texture, but it's less pronounced. So I want to cover up some of this here, but I want some of the layers to show through, like in this area. I want some variation in color, so I won't totally cover up that mauve. And I just start working. If I think I need a little more water, I add a couple drops, and I just work it around till I like the look I'm getting. I'm going to work on this area up here now with the yellow ochre also. Yeah, you can still see me. So I sometimes have a plan in my head, sometimes I don't. Now that is quite pronounced there, but I just want to bring it back down here a little bit and then let some of the blue greens show through. I don't really like that area too much, so I'm going to make that white with some yellow ochre mixed in. Color values are always, I like to change the color values a lot too. It makes it more interesting. Like if a little bit of white on top of that yellow ochre seems to make it pop. And I just keep on working at it. This is actually quite relaxing when I don't have to think too much about what I'm doing. It's kind of a light touch that I use, so some of those colors underneath show through. To me, that's the look I'm going for. Having the colors show on top of each other and lots of value changes. So it keeps the eye moving around. I did another short video on how I create the beginning texture. So that's the way this one started some time ago, but I've added quite a bit of paint since then. So when that other 9x12 canvas dries, I'll video how I start adding the color and the texture. When the texture's already added, I'll start adding color to that one so you can kind of see one from the beginning. But I just wanted to pop on here and show you how I add color. Now I'm going to put this aside, and there's a lot of mauve right in here, and I think I want to change that a little bit, so I'm going to add some phthalo blue to that, see what I think of that. And again, if I don't like it, I can always paint over it. See, white on top of that phthalo blue really makes it pop. So if you kind of follow the colors through, then it kind of leads the eye through your painting. I kind of go for no big areas of one color in one spot. And sometimes I have to stop and look at it a little bit before I continue. So now a little bit of white on top of that, just in places. You know, some of that dark color is really stunning to have, but then I don't like it too dark in a lot of areas. And I don't want this one to turn real blue because I like the mauve, and sometimes I get carried away and I cover up too much of the color. Now we'll mix some of this yellow ochre and blue, and we'll end up with some kind of green. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now I have some yellow ochre and phthalo blue on here. Let's see what color that's going to be. Oh, that's kind of stunning, isn't it? And it's a good color variation, because that always helps too. A little bit of white on there.